Have you ever felt like someone was calling your name, but when you looked around, no one was there? Or maybe you've had a persistent thought, a feeling you just couldn't shake, nudging you in a certain direction. It can be confusing, even a little spooky. Well, what if that voice, that feeling, was something more? What if it was the universe, or as some might say, God, trying to get your attention? Today, we're diving into one of the most powerful stories about hearing that call, the story of a young boy named Samuel. His experience thousands of years ago still holds profound lessons for us today about listening, obedience, and discovering our true purpose. Imagine a world lit only by oil lamps and stars. In the ancient sanctuary of Shiloh, a sacred place, lived a young boy named Samuel. He wasn't there by chance. His mother, Hannah, had longed for a child, and in her deepest despair, she made a promise. If she were blessed with a son, she would dedicate him to a life of service in the house of the Lord. And so, Samuel was born. From a very young age, he lived and served under the guidance of the high priest, Eli. Life was simple, routine. He would help with daily tasks, light the lamps, and learn the ancient rituals. Eli was old, his eyes growing dim, and his own sons, who were also priests, had sadly lost their way. The spiritual atmosphere was dimming, just like Eli's sight. It was a time when direct messages from God were rare. People felt a distance, a silence. One quiet evening, as Samuel was lying down to sleep in the temple, not far from the sacred Ark of the Covenant, he heard a voice. Samuel, it was clear, distinct. Thinking it was Eli, he quickly got up, ran to the old priest's room, and said, "Here I am." "You called me." Eli, roused from his sleep, was puzzled. "I did not call you, my son. Go back and lie down." So Samuel did. He settled back into his bed, the silence of the temple wrapping around him again. But then, he heard it a second time, "Samuel." Again, he jumped up and rushed to Eli. "Here I am," he said. "You must have called me." And again, Eli denied it. "No, my son, I didn't call. Go back to sleep." Samuel returned to his bed, probably a little confused now. Was he dreaming? Was he hearing things? The temple was a place of deep reverence, and this was unusual. And then, for a third time, the voice cut through the stillness. "Samuel." This time, Samuel didn't hesitate. He ran to Eli, a sense of urgency in his steps. "Here I am, for you surely called me." It was at this moment that a realization dawned on the old priest. This wasn't a dream. It wasn't his own aging voice. Eli understood. It was the Lord calling the boy. He looked at Samuel, this young, innocent child, and knew something extraordinary was happening. He had to guide him. Eli's instructions were simple, yet profound. "Go and lie down," he said gently, "and if he calls you again, you must say, 'Speak, Lord, for your servant is listening.'" This was the key, not to dismiss the voice, not to question it, but to invite it. To open his heart and mind to receive the message. Samuel returned to his bed one last time, but this time, he wasn't just waiting for sleep. He was waiting with anticipation. His heart was probably pounding in his chest. The air itself felt thick with meaning. And then, the voice came again, closer and more present than before. "Samuel, Samuel." Taking a deep breath, just as Eli had instructed, the young boy replied, "Speak, for your servant is listening." What happened next changed everything. In the sacred silence of that night, God spoke to Samuel. But the message wasn't one of simple comfort. It was a heavy, difficult prophecy. God revealed that he was going to bring judgment upon Eli's house because of the wickedness of his sons and because Eli had failed to restrain them. Imagine being that young boy, hearing such a devastating message about the very man who was like a father to you. He was given a burden of truth that no child should have to carry. Samuel lay there until morning, the words echoing in his mind. He was afraid. How could he possibly tell Eli? How could he deliver such a painful message to the old priest who had raised him? When morning came, Samuel went about his duties, opening the doors of the temple, his heart heavy. He avoided Eli, hoping he wouldn't be asked. But Eli knew. He called for Samuel. "Samuel, my son," and Samuel replied, "Here I am." Eli asked him directly, "What is it that the Lord said to you?" "Do not hide it from me." There was no escape. With a trembling voice, Samuel told him everything, leaving nothing out. He shared the terrible prophecy, the coming judgment on Eli's family. And in that moment of raw, painful truth, Eli responded with incredible humility and acceptance. "He is the Lord," Eli said softly. "Let him do what seems good to him." He accepted his fate, recognizing the justice in the divine message delivered by this young boy. From that day forward, everything changed. The word of Samuel's vision spread. Everyone from all corners of Israel came to know that Samuel was a true prophet of the Lord. The boy who once mistook God's voice for a man's was now the man God spoke through. God continued to reveal himself to Samuel, and Samuel's words never failed. He grew up to become one of Israel's greatest prophets, judges, and leaders, anointing the nation's first two kings, Saul and David. He bridged a critical gap in history, guiding his people from a period of chaos into a new era of the kingdom. It all started with that one night, with 4 calls and a simple, brave response: "Speak, for your servant is listening." So what does this ancient story mean for us, right here, right now? It's about recognizing that a call can come when we least expect it, in the quiet moments of our ordinary lives. At first, we might dismiss it, just like Samuel did. We might mistake it for our own thoughts or the voice of someone else. We might think, "That's just a silly idea," or "I must be imagining things." The story teaches us the importance of having a mentor, an Eli in our lives, someone wiser, who can help us recognize when something significant is happening. Someone who can say, "Hey, pay attention, this might be important." It could be a friend, a family member, a teacher, or a counselor. And most importantly, it teaches us the power of our response. The turning point for Samuel wasn't just hearing the voice. It was his willingness to say, "Speak, I'm listening." That posture of openness, of humility, is what transforms a mysterious noise into a life-changing communication. It's about creating space in our busy, noisy lives to actually listen, to turn down the volume of the world, the notifications, the endless distractions, and tune into that quieter, deeper frequency. And sometimes, the message we receive isn't easy. It might be a call to change, to confront a difficult truth, to step out of our comfort zone, or to deliver a message someone else doesn't want to hear. Samuel's first task was daunting, but his obedience established his entire life's purpose. Think about your own life. Is there a call you've been ignoring? A persistent idea, a passion that won't go away, a nagging feeling that you're meant for something more? Maybe you've heard it once, twice, 3 times, and kept dismissing it. Perhaps it's time to find a quiet space, to get still, and to adopt Samuel's attitude. To say, "Okay, I'm listening. What is it you're trying to tell me?" You might be surprised by what you hear. It could be the beginning of your own incredible journey. The journey to discovering your unique purpose and making a difference in the world, all because you chose to listen. Thank you for joining me on this journey into the story of Samuel. If this message resonated with you, please give this video a thumbs up and consider subscribing for more stories that can inspire and guide our lives today. Don't forget to share your own experiences with hearing a call in the comments below. I'd love to read them. Until next time, be open, be brave, and be ready to listen.